Okay, I changed my functions up a little bit, but part one asks us to, assuming that they sell all they produce, what is the profit function? So the profit is just the revenue subtracted by the expenses, revenue subtracted by cost. So my profit function is negative 0.5 x minus 110 squared plus 5,950, that's the revenue. And I need to subtract the entire expense, the entire cost function. So I'm putting it in parentheses. Okay. Otherwise, we'd just be subtracting the first term, the second term would be adding. So that's it. That is the profit function. It's just not in simplest terms. One thing we can do is we can multiply this parentheses to itself. And if you do that, you're going to get x squared minus 110x minus 110x. That combines to be minus 220x. And then plus, because it's a negative times a negative, so 12,100. Okay, that's what this turned out to be. I just did that math off to the side. Let me still get that plus. 5950 minus the 30x minus the 250, because we got to distribute that minus sign. Excuse me. Then we can multiply everything by negative 0.5, so in that parentheses, so negative 0.5x squared plus 110x, because a negative times a negative makes a positive. And then this is minus 6,050. Let me double check that though. 12,100 times 0.5. Yep. And then still plus this 5950 minus 30x minus 250. Still more simplifying we can do. Let's combine all the x's, and I think we're about done. This is negative 0.5 x squared, and then that's all the x squared terms. So we got plus 110x minus 30x. So 110 minus 30 makes positive 80x. And then we got 5950 minus 6,050. Oops, typed that in wrong. Minus that 250, so we got minus 350 at the end of my profit function. There we go. We combine like terms, got the profit function. What is the domain of the profit function? This is something you're just going to type in the discussion board. In terms of the x values, the domain is negative infinity to positive infinity, because there's no possibility of a divide by zero error. There's no square roots of a negative. But in a realistic sense, you can't, x is the number of items we produce. So I would say the domain is 0 to infinity. Sorry, we can do it like this, right? That's the domain. Okay. And the company chooses to produce, oh, sorry, maximum capacity. I missed this part. The maximum capacity is 160, so this should stop at 160 with brackets there. Sorry for missing that. Okay, the company can choose to produce either 80 or 90 items. What is their profit for each case? So profit for producing 80 items, that's where you just plug in 80 in for X and then solve for the profit. 90 items, you just plug in 90 in for X and then simplify. And then can you explain from our model why the company makes less profit when producing 10 more units? So if you produce 80 units and then produce 90 units and you find out the profit actually went down, that just means like there's a problem balancing revenue and cost, right? At some point, maybe it just doesn't make as much sense to produce so many items because the cost increases faster than the revenue does as X increases. But there's probably other speculation that students can do for that part.